Greta to you. Reverend Greta is from Agape International Spiritual Center, for those of you who don't know. We do have a contingent that went up today to service this morning, a caravan. It's been happening regularly on Sundays and Wednesday nights, just so you know. We feel so blessed to be an Agape associate and to share in that beautiful light that is one of the brightest lights on the planet. Reverend Michael Beckwith is one of my greatest teachers, and we're just so blessed to be able to, circulate in the orbit of Agape, and Reverend Greta is here this morning representing that, bringing her light. She used to be, formerly was the assistant dean of the Agape University. She's been a minister and a licensed practitioner there for many, many years. She's been really active with the choir, for those of you who have ever been blessed to go up and enjoy that choir. You actually got the choir in several big performances at the Getty, the Ford Amphitheater, Royce Hall, UCLA. I've seen some of it on tape. Incredible performances. Thank you so much for that. She also was very instrumental in working on the Season for Nonviolence, which we have celebrated every year since Soul Center, participated in every year since Soul Center opened. She's a very popular pulpit speaker. She also happens to be an actress and very involved. You've probably seen her in some print advertising. She's been on Grey's Anatomy and Alias and Ghost Whisperers. And it is just our huge pleasure to welcome you. Thank you so much. And before she speaks, we're going to have the opportunity for the lovely Marriane to give us her opening song, please. Thank you.
Thank you. So grateful to be here, and always. It's just really beautiful, the energy and all of the faces, and I'm just so thankful to be here and to share. And grateful that Greta's here as well. I hail from Agape in addition as the assistant director of the choir there, and just it's a beautiful space, and you created an incredible space of Agape in Orange County. So thank you for having me as we share in this song that Reverend Greta asked to do before her song. We pray you'll be our mind and watch us as we go, and help us to be wise in times when we don't know. Let this be our prayer when we lose our way. Lead us to a place, guide us with your grace, to a place where we'll be safe. I pray you'll find your light
Oh, I love music. It just fills me. And it's a good thing because I understand that we have angels that sing inside of us. There's a whole book called Angels Sing in Me, and I feel that and I know that. And I'm so grateful to be here. I haven't been here for quite a long time. And you were about half as big as this when I was here. And so it's a testament to you, the way that your heart is growing, your love is growing, and the center is growing. And you know, once upon a time there were two young women and they wanted to get married, and they contacted a minister and they married, and then they wanted to have a child. So the minister prayed for the child, blessed the child, and then they went to this mom's group, and they actually met each other there, didn't know each other before, and realized in the mom's group that the same minister had married them. And that minister was me. And I'm so delighted that out of the blue they showed up. Would you just stand, the family, so we can just bless you and love you, and thank you so much for being here. I could have planned it better if I tried, but I haven't seen them, you know, either family for so long. And thank you so much. You know, there's a kind of a shift that's happening. And I don't know if you've been aware of it. It can be a little subtle, but there's a shift. And it's not like a big change. It's like everybody wants change, but not so many of us really want to change. So if you think of it more as a shift from what has seemed like darkness to what is light, and from 50 shades of gray to a radiant rainbow, from being in fear and being in faith, being in love. It's a shift that's taking place, and it occurred to me that you might want to know about it. Because when I was thinking of the topic that presented itself to me, it was sacred secrets to success and serenity. That sounded amazing. Sacred secrets to success and serenity. And you know, a lot of times people come for counseling, and it's usually because they're feeling like, you know, they're not feeling successful. They're not feeling a sense of serenity and peace. They're feeling kind of cut off. And to tell you the truth, I'm one of my best clients too. I get to talk to myself all the time about ways that I can expand how I feel about things. But it happened that this idea of shift came, and you know, when I say it came, you know, that means Spirit of God, or you know, a higher power, or a voice, or a light, or something that happened. I'm sure that many of you have had that kind of experience. Something told me to do this, and something is just another name for God, whether you call it light or love or Divine Mother, Holy Father, or Big Brother, or Christ's presence, you know, Jesus, Buddha, Allah. Something sent this idea of shift, and it was an acronym for Special Healing Instructions for Today. Special healing instructions just for today. And I thought I might share it with you, and even though there's something that kind of happens at the beginning of the day that you didn't get to do today, you might keep this in mind for tomorrow. Because it's just for today, special healing instructions for today. And so I opened myself up to see what that could be about, you know, starting with the first letter, which would be S, right, for special. Immediately it came to me, Spirit first. Put Spirit first. It's the first letter. It could be the first thing in your day to put Spirit first. So I'll tell you what it means for me. I don't do anything. I don't communicate with anybody. I don't check my iPhone, my computer, my iPad, anything before I check in with the Spirit. Before I just say, thank you. You know, or good morning, God, or good good morning life. And I remember when I was a little girl, my father used to say this prayer, and I don't know why it recently came back to me. He used to say, thank you for watching over us in the shades of the night. And so just to say thank you, to put spirit first, it makes such a difference if I just take that time to just be one there, even if it's just a minute, even if it expands to like 10 or 15 minutes, maybe just in the silence like we did this morning. As opposed to picking up my phone and seeing, who contacted me, who needs what from me, who's nudging me, who's tagging me. I just start with the spirit first. In any way that appeals to you or feels like something you might want to think about, I offer it for the S for the first letter. Put spirit first. And then the second letter in shift would be what? H? Thank God for an H. And so H, this came like, I wrote this thing. I thought about something that I wrote. It said, I always have enough. I always have sufficient tears, more than enough. My cup runneth over until the need for tears is met. Then the tears stop. I don't know where they go. I can't call them up when they're not called for. All that I need is within me. Tears, money, confidence, mother's milk, memory, eggs, sperm, courage. All these things or more are added unto me according to and depending upon my apparent need for them. You see, God is my shepherd. I shall not want. I have all I need. So here's my caveat. I told you I was one of my best clients. But, I keep teaching and preaching because I keep learning and turning over a new leaf. And I was going through this time where I fell into the gap of lack, and I was feeling like my money was funny and it was shorter than the month, and how was I going to get things done? And then I remembered writing this. And I said, I always have enough. Well, what does that mean, enough? It means that I have it. And then I thought, well, I don't need more than enough. I really don't need more than enough. Enough is sufficiency. And so I started telling myself, I always have enough. And I got it, I felt it, I do. I always have enough. And do you know that within a few days' time, a check came in the mail for $2,400 for something that I had done years ago. I don't even remember what it was. It was some kind of a project, and this was an additional something. And I know that it's because I decided that I always have enough. I always have enough. So have enough. That's part of the shift in knowing that it's done unto you as you believe. Not if you believe or when you believe, but in the moment that you believe something is your truth, it's true. That's the way the law of mind works. It's the way the law of love works, which is the only law, the law of love. So there's spirit first and have enough, and the next letter is right. So this is kind of funny, the way this came, but what it, in my quiet time, I got, be in the moment with God. Be in the moment with God. And what occurred to me was see with the eyes of God, hear with the ears of God, and love through the heart of God. To me, that's what it means to be in the moment with God. To see as God sees. Let those that have ears hear. Know that love is the greatest power in the universe. Be in the moment with God. So when I was driving here today from LA, right up ahead of me, the traffic stopped, all the cars were stopped, there was this billowing smoke, and there was this car, there was an accident. And as I drove by, I saw that the car had been consumed in fire, and the whole side of the hillside had been burned. And immediately I went into prayer to know, and my prayer was, God is right there. What I needed to know and what I got to know was God is right there. And I realized that I was being in the moment with God. I was seeing it, and I couldn't really know anything more than that, but I knew that God was there. That God is there. That God is here, no matter what is going on. And because God is good, something wonderful must be happening beyond what I can see. So what does that have to do with an eye? Be in the moment with God was like such a strong directive. It wasn't like if you want to or maybe or try it or but or anything. Be. So I started saying, I'd be in the moment with God. I'd be in the moment with God. That's where the I comes in. It's a crazy sentence, but it works for me because it fills me up. I'd be in the moment with God. So there's the I. S-H-I, next comes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have 3 indoor cats. I have 2 indoor-outdoor cats, and I have 1 outdoor cat that just won't come in for anything. She just refuses. She wants to be outside. My granddaughter named her Mary because we had her and her daughter. So she named Mary because Mary's the mother, and she named the daughter Daisy, so because they look just alike. So Mary stays outside. My number 1 daughter 2 days ago said, Mom, Mary has a bird. She's caught it in her mouth. And Mary was walking onto the patio towards the sliding glass door with a bird in her mouth. And I called my number 2 daughter, Christina, who rescues cats, and one of the reasons why we have all these cats. And I said, Mary has a bird, and she says, take it out of her mouth, which she does all the time. But I said, I don't know how to do that. And so she came right like in front of me. Here's a sliding glass door. She drops the bird. The bird is laying there on its back, not moving. And it was very sad for me to think that she caught this bird. I still couldn't get it. There it is. And my daughter number 1 says, it's still breathing. I said, no, it's not. I couldn't get it, but I really thought that Mary was going to have this for dinner. She says, it's breathing. I said, no, it's not. And I didn't see it move at all, but I called Christina. I said, Christina, come. She says, I'm getting dressed. I can't do anything. I opened the sliding door. I took 1 foot and I moved Mary to the side and tried to use the other foot to protect this bird that my daughter says is still breathing until Christina finally comes with a towel wrapped around her, and daughter number 2 picks up the bird. And she's standing right next to me, and I see that there are drops of blood on her hands. And the bird is resting in her hands, and then it moves. And as it moves, my heart jumps into prayer for the bird. And so I start to look for a shoebox to put it in and a soft cloth inside, and I find a lid that already has a hole. And my daughter, number 2, puts the bird in a quiet, safe place where the indoor cats can't get to it. And I'm praying. I'm praying for life. I'm praying for the presence of God where the bird is. Mary is outside wondering what happened and where, to her dinner. Where's her dinner? She's looking all around. But she was pretty nice about it. Well, after about an hour, Christina wanted to see if the bird was alive because she's taken birds out, actually taken them out of the cat's mouth lots of times, but they never have really survived. But at least, and I thought with this bird, it wasn't eaten alive. And so she wanted to see, so we went out to the front yard, and she took the lid off of the box, and the bird flew high across the street and landed on the top of a car. And to my mind, our prayers and our loving and our caring brought the bird back from the jaws of death to life. And I say, this is life. And you might say, it's just a bird. It's just a sparrow. You know what? Oh, I even print it up because I thought maybe you might not believe me. This is a picture that Christina took with her iPhone just before we put the bird in the shoebox. So you could look at it if you want to see what a beautiful sparrow looks like. But the bird flew high. I say flew high in faith because it's the F letter, right? It's the opportunity for us to fly, to shift beyond what is appearing, not to judge by appearances, because according to appearances, the bird was dead. But through our faith in the power of love and the power of prayer, the bird lives. And you know that if the Spirit of God has his eye on a sparrow, then it has to be watching over you. So fly high in faith. And the last letter would be T. I'm so glad you remember because I didn't say that. And so this one's pretty easy. It is thanksgiving and forgiving. And we can start with forgiving because it's such a powerful practice. Truly, all forgiveness is self-forgiveness. And you might have people that you would prefer to not forgive because they've done something terrible or horrible. And it doesn't excuse what they did. But as long as I'm not willing to be forgiving, I have got myself clamped down in a prison. To forgive is to give forth, to give before it's expected, to give before it's required or called for. To forgive is to give forth love. It's just to give it forth. And to give it forth even to myself. So truly sometimes I just take a couple of minutes and I forgive myself for as many things that I can think of. Really, without pause, without judging. So I forgive myself for staying up too late, and I forgive myself for thinking this talk wouldn't be any good, everybody would fall asleep, and I forgive myself for thinking I'm such a show-off, and I forgive myself for thinking I think I know something special, and I forgive myself for thinking I don't know anything special. And so it goes, but there's something really magical about it, because there's nothing in me that's intending to make the wrong choices, even though in the mind of God there is no wrong or right. God is not forgiving us for anything because God sees with the eyes of God. God doesn't see any harm or hurt. God only knows who we really are. So if we had time, I would just ask you for 1 minute, forgive yourself for as many things as you can think of. Forgive yourself for thinking that you don't have anything to forgive yourself for. Forgive yourself for thinking you have so many things to forgive yourself for. But there's something that's absolutely freeing about clearing the space and allowing yourself to give forth love to yourself. And the other part of that, forgiving, is to give thanks. Like after I forgive myself for everything, I give thanks for the opportunity to give thanks. There's so much more to be grateful than to be sorry for. And you know, when you say thank you for something, most people don't say thank you like this. You say thank you. You know, so you're open, you're receptive, you're available. Thank you. Thank you that I can see and I can hear and I can stand and I can walk and I can talk and I can smile and I can shake my finger and I can put my hand on my hip and I can think and I can forgive myself and I can be grateful. I can be compassionate. I can be whatever I decide that I want to be. But there's so many things to give thanks for, and because the law of gratitude says the more I give thanks, the more I have to be thankful for. It's the T, it's the last letter, it's the last thing at the end of the night. To forgive and to give thanks for everything is a spiritual practice and a way of making a shift. So here's my suggestion. If you're open to it, and you can remember shift, I think you can remember the letters because you told me you did, and you could remember the things that I shared about the letter, or you could make up your own. But Try it for one day. There's an old Egyptian saying that says, give yourself to the one most high and do it tomorrow just as you do it today. But only think about today. This is special healing instructions for today. Starting tomorrow, which is Monday, try this for 7 days. Why 7? Because there's 7 days in the week, and there's 7 oceans, and there's 7 wonders in the world, and there's 7 chakras, and there's 7 seas, and 7 musical notes. 7 is a number of completion. Just try it for 7 days to shift. Maybe not even in the ways that I'm suggesting, but in your own way. And see if at the end of the 7th day, check in with yourself and see how you feel. See what a difference it has made to start first in the day with the Spirit, recognizing it in some way, and then realizing that you always have enough. Be in the moment, whatever it is that comes up, that upsets you, that disappoints you. See if there's an opportunity for you to just be in the moment with God. Fly high in faith for whatever comes. Forgive yourself and give thanks. See what happens. And I got the idea that I would just invite you, if you feel like it. I mean, can you really keep a secret? These are sacred secrets. If this works, don't keep the secret. If it works, email me. It's an easy email address,